Welcome to what is widely said to be the worst, most horrible part of the West Highland Way, and it's the section along Loch Lomond. When I announced that I was going to be walking the West Highland Way, I immediately started getting messages from people warning me about this section and saying it's absolutely horrible, it goes on forever, it's really, really technical. So today I'm trying to find out just how bad this really is. But first of all, let's go to this morning where I just woke up after having spent the previous 2 days walking for about 10 hours in the rain, and I utterly fed up with the rain. I have spent the last 2 days walking in the rain, soaked to the skin for about 5 hours each day. I'm kind of fed up. I'm not leaving this tent until it stops raining. There's some ducks. You know, even if I'm not enjoying the rain, it's nice to see someone else who actually is. The rain has stopped and the forecast says it's going to stay off for the most of the rest of the day, so I'm going to get packed up and get out of here. So what I've done here, as you can see, I've attached a lot of my wet kit to the outside of the bag in the vain hope that it might actually dry today. Now, unfortunately, I'm gonna have to leave that stuff there. There's a dump here right at the start of the area where you can wild camp. That's absolutely disgusting. But it's 6 miles to the nearest bin and it's not my rubbish and there's just no way of carrying it. But it has made me realise why most of Loch Lomond you're not allowed to wild camp, because the areas you are allowed to wild camp, the most accessible spots are disgusting. It's time for the morning tunes. Right, got my route loaded up. Let's go. So far, I can't believe how horrible this is. Ew. Ugh. Ugh. Disgusting. Oh no. How am I supposed to go with this? Oh. Ooh, boardwalk. This is awful so far, absolutely terrible. I'm hating every second of this. Oh no, my tent, I need that. No! Ah! Oh. So far, the worst thing of this section has been it's been quite warm. This might be the highest point in this bit of the walk. You can see we're about 200 metres up above Loch Lomond. Something else that people have said about this section is because the path's narrow, you get stuck behind slow walkers who won't get out of your way at all. But I haven't had that problem. People have instantly got out of my way when I've run at them screaming, including one old lady who just took a header straight into the loch. really, really courteous folk. It's nice to see. This is me, I think it's Inversnaid. It's about 6 miles into the distance I have to do today. So from here, I'm going to have another 4 miles to do of Loch Lomond, but it's time to refuel. But I made a bit of a mistake because as I was sitting there eating my okay priced but not particularly high quality scampi and chips, which I had mayonnaise, tartar sauce, English mustard, salt, vinegar, pepper and ketchup too, which improved it quite a bit. But as I was sitting there, I realised that I'm in trouble because the power bank that I brought into the hotel to charge in the hour that I had it plugged in had only gone up 25%. I kind of thought it would charge the full in about 2 hours. That even if I stopped a couple of times during the day to plug it in for an hour here and an hour there, I'm going to run out of battery on my cameras before I manage to finish this trip. So I've changed plans, and rather than doing 20 miles today and wild camping, I'm going to do 10 miles, camp at the next campsite overnight, and then hopefully get that power bank totally charged, and then I'll be adding an extra day onto the trip. So more content for you and a lot more editing for me. If I'm honest, I'm kind of relieved because I've walked 20 miles a day for the last 2 days, and it's been somewhat more difficult than I thought it was going to be. The combination of doing that first 20-mile day on only 2 hours sleep, and then the second day in the pouring rain, I think is just, yeah, my energy is not where it would be had the weather been much better. I just inhaled a mouthful of flies there. Let's go see if this gets worse up ahead. Okay, that bit was kind of difficult for some people. Okay, look, so I don't want to diminish anyone's experience, so I can kind of understand why some people really hate this section, because if you look at photographs of the West Highland Way, typically you will see these sort of wider gravel trails. Less will you see ground like this, that's sort of rocky, it's a little bit technical, and obviously you can't walk very, very quickly through this. On this kind of terrain, I've been averaging, and bear in mind this includes me stopping to use my camera every now and then, but I've been averaging about 2 to 2.5 miles per hour. So it is slow going, so I do kind of get why you might eventually get fed up with this. But for me, so far, I really, really love this terrain. It keeps me interested. I get bored on a flat trail. I'm actually kind of concerned that later on I am going to get bored. I like it. Look, there's a little bit of danger here. I could fall down there and, you know, instantly die, and that makes this slightly more exciting. But the problem was not the difficulty. The problem was that it was absolutely relentless, because this terrain, fun though it was, went on for miles and miles and miles and miles. Oh, here we go, back down again. Oh. Okay, this is starting to get a bit relentless. I'm starting to dislike the Loch Lomond section of this trail. Not visually. Visually, it's absolutely stunning. But very slow, very technical. It feels a little bit like I've been on the roller coaster for too long. You know, I've enjoyed the roller coaster, I've had my fun, but now it's time to get off. Enjoy your speed! Oh, look, some more things to clamber over. I mean, I'm still enjoying this, it's still fun. It's still fun, and I like it a lot. Now, that is a view. I think that might be the technical section of this trail over. I think. You'll notice, if you look carefully here, that razor wire has been installed all around the ruins of this building, and you might think that's to keep people out, but actually it's to keep something in, because in behind there, a few years ago, there was a really ferocious haggis infestation, and they've never managed to clear it out. So the best thing they could think of was to just put up razor wire, contain the haggis. Here's a bothy.
How many days have you done camp?
That was a bothy, and a bothy is basically a little cottage without facilities that anybody can use to go and sleep in, camp in. So I could have potentially stayed in there instead of camping last night. But the problem is, this time of year, if you want to use a bothy, you're probably going to wind up sharing it with about 1,000 other people, all who've had exactly the same idea. I'm running because a giant horsefly just tried to take a chunk out of my leg. I think it's chasing me now. If you look behind me there, you will spot there is my tent. So this is me several hours after having completed that section of the trail. I'm at Glass campsite, I think it's called that, and so far I've had the nicest food that I've gotten anywhere. The food here is far nicer than that hotel halfway along the loch, and like a lot more reasonably priced as well. But I've got set up here, I've taken my wet gear, it's currently in a tumble dryer, so I'm trying to get myself all set up and prepared and dry to finish off the next few days of the West Highland Way. Tomorrow I plan on doing quite a long day as well, and tomorrow I'm gonna make a video where I tell you about what's probably been the most useful piece of equipment on this entire trip. And if you want to see that video, you can subscribe and you'll get that one when it comes out. The big question is it the worst part of the West Highland Way? And I can't answer that question right now because I haven't done the entire West Highland Way. So to answer that question, here's future Stephen. Hello, it is future season and Stephen, I'm so tired. Future Stephen, I've completed the West Highland Way yesterday. I feel horrendous today, but I now have strong opinion on which part of the route I thought was the worst, and it wasn't Loch Lomond. Loch Lomond was a bit relentless, and towards the end, yes, I was just getting fed up with the terrain, but I enjoyed it overall, and the technical terrain was fun. It just, there was too much of it. The bit part of the West Highland Way I personally disliked the most was the section from the Bridge of Orkney all the way to Glencoe. It was about 10 miles, and I think the reason I disliked it, it was just really wide and open, and while there were, you know, mountains and so on in the distance, there was no real like focal point of drama. It just wasn't as interesting as, I feel anyway, as what had come before. And probably more significantly, I knew that Glencoe was up ahead, and I knew how spectacular it was, so I felt like I just want to get this bit done to get to the much nicer bit. So for me anyway, that was the worst part. But I did speak to a few people on trail, and lots of them said they thought the Loch Lomond section was the worst. So hey, jury is out there, but either way, thanks for watching this video, hope you enjoyed it, and there's many more in this series. A few more in the series. Go watch, here's some more West Highland Way videos. Hope you enjoy those. Thanks and bye bye. I'm so tired. I'm so tired.